This week in Jamaica Now, tragedy in St. James. A 12-year-old girl is swept away by MoBay floodwaters. Her grandmother is still missing. How her aunt and her grandfather were rescued by residents. 3-year-old boy among 2 killed in Hanover triple shooting. Rogue Justice of the Peace resigns after Sunday Gleaner expose. How an ex-convict got a job with the court to work as an orderly for the judge who sentenced him. New COVID variant found in Jamaica. The announcement comes 4 months after the sample was received. And Radio Jamaica acquiring 100% of 1834 investments. I'm Damian Mitchell, and this is Jamaica Now. There was uncontrollable grief for St. James family this week after the body of a 12-year-old girl swept away by floodwaters in Westgate was found near the wharf in Montego Bay. Her grandmother is still missing, but residents managed to rescue her grandfather and her aunt. The missing woman, 68-year-old Beryl Walters, husband Barris, their 25-year-old daughter Shannon, and 12-year-old granddaughter Janelle were traveling in a Toyota Succeed towards Westgate. Mr. Walters said he decided to pull off the road when he noticed the rushing water had started to rise along the road.
Get washed out at the car. No, they have been swim. They have been swim a whole lot for our branch. And the man them come, they've been well for the branch. The man them come to me and take me out there water.
Come and flood up the car and wash it down against the banking. You go down in my banking and stuff and it feels very, very alright down here. But the water come again and spin me out.
In Hanover, the 3-year-old boy who was among 3 people shot in Cascade has died. 27-year-old Tavares Stevens, otherwise called T of Hillaby District, was also killed. The child was being treated at the Cornwall Regional Hospital for gunshot injuries. The victims were at their gate in Cascade when a car reportedly drove up. A group of men got out and started firing, injuring the child and 2 others. The police theorized that the shooting was a reprisal for a similar incident in the area in March where a man was shot and injured and has since been hospitalized. Wednesday's shooting occurred near a hangout spot where the alleged shooter in the March incident is known to frequent. However, that person had reportedly already left the area when the gunmen arrived. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck has revealed that a rogue justice of the peace has resigned following a Sunday Gleaner expose. This week, the Sunday Gleaner reported that JPs in several parishes have been charging fees for their services and lying in letters of recommendations they write for complete strangers. There was also a case of sexual harassment. But Mr. Chuck said following investigations by his ministry, one of the rogue JPs surrendered his seal and he is urging others to do likewise.
There is a small minority who doesn't care about their role as JP. They will use and abuse this status of a JP for enrichment. It is not only wrong, but it sends an unfortunate signal that hurt the really law-abiding JPs across Jamaica.
The minister was speaking on Thursday at the commissioning service for 48 new JPs for the parish of St. James. He also declared that there are no plans to allow for JPs to be financially compensated for their services. A High Court judge who convicted a man for a robbery some years ago was left surprised when he appeared in chambers at the Supreme Court as an orderly. When the man came into the judge's chambers, the judge reportedly uttered, "But I know you." There was no response from the man in regards to the judge's remark. The man was accused of committing a robbery and was found guilty by the very judge who he was assigned to assist as an orderly. The matter was reported to the court officials and the orderly was transferred to the library. Following further investigations, the orderly was dismissed from the job. A senior member of the court staff said it was frightening and embarrassing that such an incident took place because the criminal record of an employee must be produced before the hiring may take place. The Health Ministry is reporting that the highly transmissible Omicron BA.2 variant has been detected in Jamaica. The ministry says 89 samples collected between January 1 and March 4 were submitted for genome sequencing, with the results showing 2 were the BA.2 variant. According to Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Besesa McKenzie, the BA.2 variant is dominant globally, and the type of illness associated with it is similar to the BA.1 variant. This variant is highly transmissible, and as a result, there may be an increase in the number of COVID-19 cases in Jamaica. A ban has been placed on permits for events at Pearly Beach, which has been cited as the main cause of Saturday's gridlock in St. Ann. The decision was made during an emergency meeting of the St. Ann Municipal Corporation on Sunday. The meeting involved the Municipal Corporation, the police, the National Works Agency, and the St. Ann Development Company, a subsidiary of the Urban Development Corporation which owns Pearly Beach. SADCO had been mandated to rethink the process of venue rental and to provide new, tougher conditions for the hosting of events there. Ocho Rios Mayor Sidney Stewart said another meeting will be held in 2 weeks or 3 to determine the next step. On Saturday, people were locked in traffic for up to 5 hours. Radio Jamaica Limited, the parent company of the RJR Gleaner Group, is acquiring 1834 Investments. The communications company is to acquire all of the shares of 1834 Investments in exchange for shares in Radio Jamaica or cash consideration. The deal is subject to the approval of the shareholders in 1834 Investments and the sanction of the Supreme Court of Jamaica. Under the proposed transaction mechanism, each shareholder in 1834 Investments may elect to receive 0.40 shares in Radio Jamaica for each 1834 investment share. The shareholder could also elect to a cash payment of $1.29 per 1834 investment share or a combination of shares in Radio Jamaica and cash. 1834 Investments was established 6 years ago with the merger of the Gleaner Company Media Limited and Radio Jamaica. It was formed when the media assets of the Gleaner were packaged to form the Gleaner Company Media Limited. Other Gleaner Company assets such as real estate became part of 1834 Investments. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube page, subscribe today and turn on your notifications. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, how a Kingston woman is living her passion as a craftswoman.
But this is my only trade I have. So if I should leave this now, I don't know what I would, and nobody would employ me at my age, you know. I would be afraid even to go out there to say, boy, me I look work. I want me to go to go look. What kind of work? Domestic again? I don't think I would want to go back.
Tell me about the variety of wicker items you make.
I made chairs, I made headboard, night tables, dinner table, and you call them etagere, whatnots, and so different pieces of furniture in your house, different names. So I made all of them. So I can make chest of drawers, but again you would have to have the woodworkman to do the completion. So even if I do the little piece at the frame at the front, again that's the furniture man. So I would put myself out there with those types because I don't have the background with those, but I can do it.